Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a great time discussing answers. And I'm so sorry. I think someone came back talking, so I might have interrupted. Great discussion. Maureen, was that you? Do you want to finish what you were going to say?
No, I
Oh,
think I just said, and we're back.
oh. Well, Abigail's going to drop in the answers into the chat. I'm sorry I didn't say this sooner, but any point in time, if your answers don't exactly match ours, it's totally okay. What the goal is that it has the same purpose and outcome. And so if you were able to get, I think that's one of the many beautiful things about computer science is there's like always countless ways to do something. So our answer keys are normally suggestions slash like you can use it as a hint to get to where you need to be. But if you were able to do it some other way, it does not have to match exactly. Awesome. Thanks, Abigail. Moving on to list items. If you're anything like me, where you love online shopping, I love online shopping and my mind changes all the time. Depending on what day, what the weather is, my list is ever changing. And so the good thing about lists is that they can change. So they are immutable. And so you can use bracket notation to modify single items in the list. Members are Pamela, Tinu, Brenda, Kaya. So Brenda, members 2 would replace Brenda with Jessica. Let's see that. Again, we have members, Pamela, Tinu, Brenda, Kaya. These are the people in our list. Members 2 would, as you can see, replace Brenda with Jessica. And then members, -1 would replace Kaya with Abby. Let's think about it. What if we change the value of an item beyond the list length? So members 5 would be 0, 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5 would be very far beyond it. And unfortunately, you cannot change the value of an item beyond the list length. But you can modify it. So you could use the append item, which adds an item to the end of the list. Dot insert inserts the item at a specific index. And then this shifts every single item forward by 1 index. Sorry, well, I'll show you. I guess I'm trying to let this forward. I will show you. You could also remove, and you could return the index of the first occurrence of an item whose value is equal to the item. So actually, let me just show you this whole list. Okay. In the chat, drop in your favorite food and we will make a list with everyone's favorite foods. This is going to make me hungry. We've got tacos. Oh, sushi. Nice. Anything else? Cookies. Oh, pho. The food of my people. Ice cream. Great. Okay, if anyone keeps going. So I'm going to drop this into the chat. So why don't you all open one too so you can see it happen in real time. The first one we're going to test out is, and don't worry, I'll just be going back and forth. Append item adds an item to the end of the list. So if we want to use append, you would first reference the list, favorite food, dot append, and I will add in my favorite food. Well, it's already taken because I too love sushi. And so I'll write in pudding. And then to see the change, I'm going to start by printing favorite food up here with, and then again, so hopefully it will print out the list without pudding and then the list with pudding. Object built-in function or method is not scriptable. Give me 1 sec. Let's see. What did I do? Let me comment this out first. Okay, that worked. It doesn't like this. favorite food dot
I
append.
think is it not supposed to be brackets? Supposed to be
Oh, parentheses.
yeah.
I think you're right.
I'm not sure. Okay.
I no, you're absolutely right. Because
Okay.
then Lisa to save the day. Thank you. Nice. Okay, cool. Yes, you're right. Because here the syntax says parentheses. Well done. Okay, so we got it. We had print favorite food, and then you append pudding. So now it's my favorite food with pudding. Okay, next let's try dot insert. And the notation is at what index and what item. So let's do, instead of dot append, insert, and I want to insert pudding at the beginning. It's just the best. Let's see if that will insert pudding at the beginning. Yeah, there you go. Next, let's do remove a certain item. Dot remove, and I will remove so let's see if it will remove Nice. Go ahead and try to remove something as well, and drop into the chat your code once you're able to remove a favorite food as well. You play some music and see what people remove. So of the favorite foods, remove like maybe the least favorite one of this list. Hey, Lisa removed ice cream. Sarah removed cookies. Those are hard things to remove, but nice choices. Okay. I'll wait for a couple more, but I'll start reading the next one. Index item. So returns the index of the first occurrence of an item whose value is equal to item. Okay, what does this mean? This says, no need to type this, but I'm gonna just show a use case of this. So it is in the Northeast, it's Marathon Monday, so people are running the Boston Marathon. So let me say like Boston Marathon winners. And let's say I put them in order. So I'll call Sally is in first place, Joe is in second place, Mark is in third place, Lisa is in fourth place. I don't know, I made that up. And then there's another person named Sally that won. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is in fourth place. So there's numerous Sallys. What this does is it returns the index of the first occurrence of the item. So dot index, oops, Boston Marathon winners. Let's say I want you to return Sally. When did Sally first appear? One second. Oh, I didn't print. Sorry, everybody. Rookie mistake. So Sally first appeared at the 0. So it tells you the first occurrence. So it would not return 4, even though we know Sally. So dot index item tells you the first occurrence of that item. Dot pop removes the item at the specified index and returns it. If no index is specified, then it removes the last item. So let's try that. Oh, sorry, we don't have to try. We did dot remove. But what it does is dot pop is it removes the most recent item. I will share more if you're interested in learning more. Okay, and So this is what we did. We had, let's say there's groceries, and you can insert applesauce or Cheerios. You could also remove bananas. So all this we did. But let's get into practice. Let's get you all coding. We'll again work on this first part together, and then I'll have you all work on it on your own. Dropping into the chat now. Okay. I'll give you just a couple seconds to work your own copy, and let me know when you're ready in the chat by saying ready. Great. So before we get started, let's just read what we have to do or what we currently have. We have a list of cities. Cool. Dinosaurs. With this dinosaurs example, be very careful with how you spell it. I realized when I was doing this, I made a lot of mistakes, purely not actually out of the coding we were doing, but because I couldn't spell Brontosaurus correctly. We have planets and gymnasts. So let's start by changing Constantinople to Istanbul. You know that we'll do something with cities, right? Well, Constantinople is at 0, 1, so we'll do 1. So we'll change it from Constantinople to Istanbul, and I will print cities just to be sure. London, Istanbul, Sydney, Leningrad, Peking. Awesome. Okay. From there, I think you can figure out the rest of these. It's a simple notation, but I would say check often, right? Use this line number 7 almost every single time. Make sure that you have it right. I'm gonna do the same thing, which is give you all until about 7 to work on this, and then we'll send you out into new breakout rooms to compare and contrast answers. Please let us know in the chat if you have any questions at all. Okay, everyone, it seems like many of us are done. So I'm going to send us into new breakout room. Again, you'll have 5 minutes to share code, ask each other questions. And if you finish early, feel free to take a break. Breakout rooms are opening now, and I'll see you all in about 5 minutes. Hi, Patty. We're in a breakout room right now reviewing our answers, but let me
Okay.
drop, happy to have you. Let me drop for you in the chat the
Okay. I'm so
resources.
sorry I'm late.
Oh my gosh, do not worry at all. No worries. We're just happy you're here. I just dropped it in, and so we are currently working on, oops, sorry, my headphones fell out. We're on slide 16.
Okay.
And you can see the slide number in the bottom right-hand corner
Mm-hmm.
of this. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to click through, the other alternative is, Abigail, I can put you in a breakout room with Patty, maybe as Patty catches up and Patty can ask you any questions as she's reading through the slide. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay,
Okay.
so what I will have to do, so Patty, if you'll sit tight for a bit. People are coming back in 2 minutes, so
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, I will close that breakout room. So I can't start one yet. So when everyone comes back, I'll make a new breakout room for you and Abigail for you to work through the slides, and Abigail can catch you up. And then before you know it, you'll be right on track with the rest of us.
Okay. I'm really sorry for being late. I'll try to not have this happen again. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
truly no worries at all. No stress. And but thank you. Yeah, of course. So we'll look through the slides, and then when everyone comes back, I'll send you Actually, the breakout rooms are closing in 1 minute, in like 10 seconds. So
Okay,
I will
then.
make you a breakout room then. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Oh.
Let me make sure everyone is back. And if you'll give me 1 second. Okay. All of us are going to stay here, but Abigail and Patty, I'm going to open a breakout room for you right now. So go ahead and join breakout room number 1. What you should see is breakout rooms should pop on your toolbar. I can also assign you. Go and Abigail, you'll have to join yourself because you are a co-host. Followed by, oh, thank you. So for blank in blank, I know in this second blank, we're referencing the list. So we'll reference the list scores. These are scores. This is the parameter we're passing through, so we'll need it in the function, right? At the function, it's like apply this function to this. Well, what is this going to be? This is going to be like some scores. And then the first blank is going to be score. And I want to pause for a second. I always found this to be, at first, when I didn't fully understand coding, I was just like, maybe this first blank is always the singular version of the second word that is plural. That is like the convention that we use to name it, but not necessarily. So let's try to get it right. You can't just, what I don't want you to get into the habit of is like, this first blank is always just going to be the singular version of this. Not quite. So let me try to explain this right. The first blank denotes what every single item is in the list. In this case, it is every single one of them is a score. The second blank denotes what is the name of the overall list. So no need to type this, but a use case where you can't just use like for shirts in shirts or for shoe in shoes might be for item in shopping list, right? I could have named it for item in items, but again, going back to how much I love shopping, for each item in Tara's shopping list. So this is a use case where this naming convention might be more accurate and indicative of what the item is. So again, I'm mansplaining. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we get it right. There are cases where the first blank is a singular version of the second blank, but there are also, and it just so happens that the examples we've used thus far is that case, but don't get into the habit of it always being that instance. One of the counter examples being for item in shopping list, or even like for gymnasts in USA Olympic team, right? We could have used for gymnast in gymnasts, but we might have named it something more specific, like USA Olympic team. Okay. Side story aside, back to what we were doing. For score in scores, what we're going to do, again, An average means you add things up and then you divide them by the length. So you all helped me with this. We're eventually going to return a total by the length of the scores. But there's like things that have to happen in between. Okay, let's recalibrate. What have I done so far? I created a function that takes a list of scores, right? That takes some scores called average score finder. What I did was I created a loop, a for-in loop specifically. Haven't done anything with that loop yet. I just know I have to create one, so I'll come back to that. But I know my ultimate answer is going to be some sort of total of the scores divided by the length of the scores. So what we're missing is one statement right here that adds in a score to the total. So in the chat, any idea on how I can repetitively add a score to the total? Maureen's got something right, which is, thank you, I have to have some sort of, the total has to start with 0. I'll put that outside. And then Lisa's got it. Add the total to the score. I think this is it. Oops. Sorry, wrong one. This is in here. Make sure. Oh, I have an indentation, or I always get this wrong. Give me 1 sec. One space here. Match that here. Average scores is not defined. Oh, it doesn't like these test cases. Okay. So in order to test this out, I'm actually going to comment all of this except for test case 1 that I will do. Average score finder for average 1. I'm going to execute average score finder on oops, average 1 is not defined. Oh, wrong order. Right, so I made the mistake where I was like, hey, do average score finder on average 1, but it hadn't defined average 1 yet. So we got to put it in the right order. I think
the function name is supposed to be average scores.
yes, you're right. So I think I have to change this to average scores to match the test case. So, oh, I just have to print average 1. 15.0. Nice. Okay. Let me just explain what I did. I apologize. Before I looked at the test case, I named it average score finder, which was like a me preference. And then what Lisa mentioned is the way the test cases are set up, they actually needed you to name it average underscore scores. That's why I went back and renamed it. And because it's already set up, all I had to do was print average 1. Cool. All right. Great job, everybody. I know that was a lot. I hope, ask me if you have any questions. It's hopefully going to make more sense once you do one on your own. So I'm going to hand you all over to Concatenator. It's 7:23. Let's come back at 7:30. However, if you do finish early, feel free to DM me to say that you're done. So if everyone comes back early, we can then go into a breakout room, share answers, and move on to the next portion of class. So good luck with Concatenator. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you all back in about 7 minutes.
Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over.
Everyone, if you can send me a quick direct message on Zoom, how much more time you need, 0 meaning none, and then the amount of minutes that you need if you need minutes. And we'll see what everyone needs before we get started. Okay. Great. In that case, I will make new random breakout rooms. Go ahead and share your answers, and I'll see you all back in about 5 minutes. And Abigail, when we come back, would you mind dropping the answer key in again?
Yeah,
Awesome,
definitely.
thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and I hope you had a great job concatenating long words. Next up, we're going to talk about nested lists, which I believe, gosh, someone brought it up earlier. I think it was Maureen. Maureen and Nicole found it. So let's dig into it.
By accident.
Hey, some of the best things have been discovered by accident. I've heard that like sticky notes and maybe bubble gum. I might be making this up, but like bubble gum is a combination of watermelon, blueberry, or apple, which makes sense. I've never like once considered to myself, like, what is bubble gum flavor? It's an amalgamation of all the flavors that were popular at the time. And I think someone just like accidentally figured it out. Anyways, I digress. Nested list. Python list can contain any values, and thus an item itself can be a list. So here we have gymnasts, and inside the gymnasts, we have Brittany, Leia, and Maya, who each of these, right, is another list because we see more brackets. So what is the length of gymnast? Well, here's 1, here's 2, and 3. So gymnast has 3 things in it. It has 3 items in it. But gymnast 0, right? What's at gymnast 0? This is gymnast 0. Let's count how many items are in there. This is gymnast 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So gymnast 0 has 5 items in it. Cool.
What's the difference
So,
between values and items? Is it the same?
what's the difference between value and items?
When you say the gymnast has 3 items, is that the same as saying that the gymnast list has 3 values?
I don't know the answer to top of my, that's like, I've been using them interchangeably, but I mean, semantically, they might be different. Abigail, do you know on the top of your head if there's a difference between a value and an item? Patty, let me get back to you. That's a good question. I don't want to, I've been using them interchangeably, so I feel like I want, but I'm not sure. It might come down to a value. This is like really meta. I think a value is the val. Let me get back to you, Patty. I don't
Yeah,
know.
totally, totally.
Give me 1 sec. Let
Thank
me write
you.
that down. Is there a difference between value and item? Okay. Great question. So, let's say we start with gymnasts, and there's a gymnast, Brittany and Leia, and there's these points associated with them. We can append another list a few ways. We can do dot append followed by the value, the item in there. Or we can do plus equals. So gymnast would then be Brittany, Leia, and Maya. Um, oh, sorry. Or the third way to do this, which is the longest way. Sorry, this is really, I'm now referencing the chat. I see that Barrett has corroborated my fun fact, so I did not make that up. That is true. Thank you for affirming me, Barrett. Okay, back to nested lists. So you can access a nested list by doing 2 bracket notations. So let's do this together. Gymnast 0 is the first item in gymnast. So I want you to mentally circle in your head which one you think it is, and then I will actually circle it. Do. If you thought this, you are correct. This whole thing is gymnast 0. Gymnast 0 at 0, however, would be not the same. We pick a different color. Gymnast 0 at 0, we're gonna do this in a different shade. means, hey, go to the 0th item. And so gymnast 0 at 0 would actually just be Brittany. Okay. Do we see that? Let's do it again. First, we go to 0, which was this whole thing. And then we go to the second part of it, which is then Brittany. Okay. So in the chat, let's do gymnasts 1 0. Gymnast 1 0. What do we think that is? Yes, Leah, well done, right? You go to the second item and then you look for the first part of it. Okay, next one. Gymnast 1 4. Gymnast 1 4. Nicely done, everybody. 9.5, right? I go to, I'm running out of colors. I go to gymnast 1. This is gymnast 1. And then I find the 5th item. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 9.5. Okay. If it's not there, it will still return an error. And again, there's nothing that is 3, so that will return an error. Delete this. Okay, you've all got that down pat. Well done. You can also modify nested lists similar to how you've modified non-nested lists. So we can use bracket notation. Gymnast 0, we can replace Brittany with Olivia. Or you can replace other parts, sorry, other just mini parts of it. So in the chat, I want you to replace Maya with Tara. I'm a gymnast now, everybody. Stopped online shopping and decided to be a gymnast. So how would you replace Maya with Tara? Go ahead and drop it into the chat. How would you replace Maya? Yes, well done. So let's think about it, right? Maya, first we had to write where Maya was. All right, Maya was gymnast 0, 1, 2, and Maya was the 0th index, so 2, 0. Well done. You can see a similar theme. Basically, the gist of this section is anything you can do with a list, you can do with a nested list. So we could also loop. We can use a for in loop. And there's other things you can do, like count the number of times this appears. So returns the number of recurrences. So if you were trying to figure out the most popular name in a list of names, you might loop through and say, every time that Sally appears, count how many times Sally appears. You can reverse the elements in place. So if it had it from like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it can print the list in reverse. You can also sort it by a comparison key. And so I will drop this into the chat. It's similar to what we did earlier, but if you want to read through, there's just countless things that you can do with lists. And so no need to memorize each of them. What I might do is if I don't remember the syntax, I might do like Python list reverse. So a good practice is the language you're using, because if you just type in list reverse, it might give it to you in a different language. So the language followed by like a short description of what you're trying to do. So here's how we might reverse. If this is the word Bumble, we might call it in reverse, which would then print out ELBMUB. We used to play a game growing up, which was you would have to spell words in reverse, and it's a lot harder than it looks. And so this would have been great for that game. Simple. So reversed num, we have nums, and then reverse num would be 10, 9, 8, and so forth. And here's an example where we might use sort. We have orange, apple, pear, and banana. You'll notice that the P is in uppercase. So food sort would sort this in to go from capitalized followed by alphabetical order. Capitalized, alphabetical, and then alphabetical. This would be an alphabetical order with the capitalization at the end. I'm going to drop this into the chat. Here are some functions. You could return the minimum key. So this might be like, what's the cheapest item that I bought? Return the maximum key. What's the most expensive item I got? This is great for when you're purchasing things. Again, and you want to list from lowest to highest price. I will say never in my life have I sorted anything from highest to lowest. I wonder what it would be like to be in like that income bracket where I'm like going shopping somewhere and I'm like, what's the most expensive item here? And I will buy it. But I'm more often than not sort from lowest to highest. You could also randomly select an item from the list, and you can also shuffle the elements of the list in place. So cool things to do. This is actually the end of our class today. I want to say great job. You all did so much in terms of lists. I say this about everything we learned, but truly lists change the games. Beforehand you just had variables, or you just have like strings, that now you have an ability to organize them, that organization, and to manipulate these lists, what's the highest, what's the lowest, what's the order of them is real, and to be able to add and remove them makes code really dynamic. So Abigail and I will stick around if you have any questions. Else, I will see you all Wednesday. You did a great job today. Time flew by. I'm very proud, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Abigail, if you can, we can stop the recording and we'll stick around for questions.